What's up, guys? This is JR, and today I'll be talking about my UFC 199 predictions this Saturday night in Los Angeles, California. Rockhold versus Bisping 2. This is a great main event card, very stacked card full of fun, good fights, and I'll be talking about the main card and one particular fight in the Fox Sports 1 prelims. So let's get started with Brian TCD Ortega versus Clay the Carpenter Guida. So this is a good matchup, a fun matchup being a wrestler versus grappler. But Clay Guida is great in wrestling, and TCD is great in jiu-jitsu. He's a jiu-jitsu black belt. So it'll be interesting what Clay Guida will do in this fight, because knowing that Clay Guida, his last two losses were submission losses, and TCD's ground game is nothing to play with. So it'll be interesting what he goes either pressuring TCD or what he does in this fight. You know, TCD is also undefeated, 10-0. He has lots of confidence. So with that being said, I'm gonna go with Brian Ortega on this one, either by submission or just by striking him, because I think he has a longer reach than Clay Guida. But we know Clay Guida is very aggressive and has cardio for days. So this is going to be an interesting matchup, and I think TCD comes up with a win and staying undefeated. With that being said, we'll go on to the main card. The first fight in the main card is Dustin Poirier versus Bobby Green. The Diamond versus King Bobby Green. So this is an interesting matchup. Number 11 versus number 13 in 155 pounds. Bobby Green having great boxing skills, and Dustin Poirier being a very all-around good fighter. I think his skill set is very well in wrestling and striking and kicking. In the ground game, he's a very well-rounded fighter with that. And Bobby Green is a very good boxer. I haven't seen him fight in a good while. I don't think he's fought in a good while, so it's going to be interesting to see him back. But we did see Dustin Poirier versus a very, very good, skillful boxer in Joe Duffy. And so we saw Joe Duffy almost, he was lighting up Dustin Poirier. You could see Joe Duffy being the superior boxer in that matchup. But Dustin Poirier did a very smart move in that fight, which he just took Joe Duffy down, kept grinding him out, and ended up winning the fight. So I think if Bobby Green has the advantage in boxing, Dustin Poirier should just, go to that same game plan, take him down with the wrestling skills, and try to grind him out with his grappling skills. This is an interesting matchup. The height and the reach is very, very similar, so this is a very even matchup. But Dustin Poirier's he's been knocked out. His chin might be his chin, he might have a suspect chin. So I think if he gets rocked a couple of times by Bobby Green, I think he should go to that wrestling mode and grind him out. With that being said, I do pick just Dustin Poirier, the Diamond, the Louisiana native in this fight. I think he's been in good fights. He's been winning, and Bobby Green, I just haven't seen him fight in a long time, and he's coming back from a long layoff. So we'll go and move on to Henderson versus Lombard. This is an interesting matchup because I believe Henderson was supposed to be fighting earlier in the Brazil fight card in UFC 198, and he Machida got he got caught doing some stuff, and he got kicked out of the card. So this is an interesting matchup. Henderson always having that big power, and Lombard being a very well-rounded fighter. Lombard last loss was against Magny, and it was interesting because Lombard showed some good power in that fight, rocking Magny a couple of times. So this fight is very interesting. They both have the same body type, around the same height, around the same reach. Dan Henderson having 2 inches 2 inches longer reach than Hector Lombard. But 15 going against 14 in the 185-pound division. This is going to be a fun matchup. I see fireworks going in this, but I don't know. This is a very tight matchup, So I'm going to go with Hector Lombard because I think he's the younger fighter, but he does lack some cardio. I think Hendo is a little better in the cardio game. But interesting matchup, very close matchup. I think Hector takes it, and if Henderson takes it, I won't be surprised. This is gonna be, and I think this ends by knockout or by someone going down because both of them have big power, and if you get hit by any of them, it's a done deal. So we'll go ahead and we're going to move on to Max Holloway Blessed versus Ricardo Lamas. Number 4 versus number 5 in the 145 weight division. And Max Holloway's been in a very good streak, and Ricardo coming off of a loss against he came out on a knockout loss. He got destroyed by let's see, I'm looking him up. He got destroyed by no, he actually won against Diego Sanchez. That's his last fight. I completely forgot about that. Unanimous decision against Diego Sanchez, but he lost against Chad Mendes, and that was a first round KO. Holloway is not a guy to play with. Holloway is coming off of a very good win streak, and he's looking very good. So the bully is gonna have his hand full with Max Holloway. Max Holloway he's a very good striker, very good kicker. His ground game is very well, and he's in a win streak. So I can't say nothing about it. Max Holloway for the win against Ricardo Lamas. It's interesting fight, a fun fight, but I take Max Holloway all the way. I think he has a better skill set. He's a longer fighter, the bigger fighter as well. So it's going to be a fun matchup, but Max Holloway for the win. With that being said, we're going with the co-main event of the evening. Dominick, the Dominator Cruz versus Urijah, the California Kid. Faber, the champion, versus number 3 at 135 weight in the 135 weight division. This is interesting fight. You saw Faber beating Cruz, I think in 2007, years back. He beat him in the first round by submission, the guillotine. He caught him with that when Dominick Cruz was going for a takedown. Then we saw Dominick Cruz beat Urijah Faber in I think a 5-round matchup. And completely outstriking him. But we saw him get rocked a couple of times in that fight. That was years back too. So this is a fun fight. This is the third time they'll be going against each other, and it's fun. You're gonna see fireworks. You're gonna see a lot of action in this fight. But Urijah Faber's last one was not, a convicting win. It was nothing, to show about, nothing big. I think he was going against a number ranked number 13 or something like that when he's ranked number 3. So he was going against not even a top 10 fighter, and he did not look that well. He looked very gassed out, very tired, and very old. Urijah Faber has been in the MMA game for a very long time, 33 wins and 8 losses. He's been in the game for a long time, and he's getting old. But Dominick Cruz is known for having a lot of injuries. He looks old too, but he looked very good. And his last matchup, which he won, he beat TJ Dillashaw for the belt, for the strap, and he looked good doing it. He had a long layoff that didn't really affect him. He looked great. His cardio looked great. His striking looked great. His wrestling looked great. Nothing bad to say about Dominick Cruz. I'm a big fan of Dominick Cruz. I like his style, his fighting style. That movement, a great movement and all that jazz. But with that being said, we both know Faber has power. and he's a very dangerous fighter. He's no one to play with. This is gonna be a tough fight for Dominick Cruz. Their last fight was close. You could say it was close. It wasn't easy. It wasn't an easy fight for Dominick Cruz. This is gonna be the first time for Dominick Cruz fighting, back-to-back fights in a long time. So, it's up to grabs, but I'm going to go with the dominator to win this fight. And, of course, 5 rounds. Cruz is not known to finish fighters, 5 rounds, and he wins by either split decision. I could see a split decision. I see this as a close fight. But let's hope that Urijah comes a lot more prepared than his last fight. Comes with better cardio and comes to win this fight. But Dominick Cruz all the way in this one. So on to the next fight, the main event: Luke Rockhold versus Michael the Count Bisping. We all know that Weidman got injured and unfortunately dropped out of this fight. That would have been a funner fight, a more interesting fight. But Michael, deserving this title shot. This is gonna be an easy fight for Luke Rockhold, to be honest. I think this is the first round TKO, first round KO, whatever you want to say about it. But Luke Rockhold is looking spectacular. We don't know if he's coming with injuries. We honestly don't know when fighters come with injuries. When fighters come very tired or very sick, like last time with Rockhold. But if Rockhold comes prepared, I think he's gonna finish Michael Bisping. This is number 2. This is the second time we fight. Rockhold beat Michael Bisping in the second round via submission the last time they fought. So I think this is just going to be a showcase of Luke Rockhold's skills. Luke Rockhold is very big for the division, and he's a very skillful fighter in the middleweight division. Michael Bisping, I would really like to see Michael Bisping get a full camp before he goes into a championship fight. But he's a game. He's game. He doesn't care. Michael Bisping believes in his skill set, which is very respectable. You can't give nothing but respect for Michael Bisping. He did beat Anderson Silva his last fight, but that was a very, very close fight. We all know if you watch the fight, it was a close fight, and he was getting beat up by Anderson. He just won by landing more shots to Anderson. But Anderson he came out of the fight looking like he just came in the fight. He looked good, and Michael Bisping was all busted up, all bleeding and all that stuff. So I'm gonna go with Luke Rockhold in this fight. This is really just a one-weighted fight. I think they just put Michael Bisping in this fight just to keep the card going and just to keep it intact. I'm great that Michael Bisping, he has earned his title shot with all his experience in the UFC. But I wish that he had a full training camp for this fight, guys. But like I said, I picked Rockhold for this fight. This is an interesting main event card. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be action-packed card. I can't wait to watch it, guys. That was my prediction on Rockhold versus Bisping 2 UFC 199 this Saturday night, June 4th in Los Angeles, California. If you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe and like it up if you enjoyed this video. And yeah, to keep this conversation going, go ahead and I want to see what your thoughts on this whole main event. On what's your thoughts on Luke Rockhold versus Bisping? I'll put that in the cards in the top or left side of this video. I want to see who do you think wins this matchup, Luke Rockhold or the Count Bisping. And if you have any questions or if you want to keep this conversation going, go ahead and comment below. Once again, this was JR Fight Talk, and I'll see you in the next one. I'll go ahead and put the results right after the pay-per-view, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.